My name is Rokk. Welcome to my channel. And that was probably the longest intro I have ever done. But today is not a funny subject. Today is about why I am really reluctant to use the public special places where people think it's safe to wash their clothes, otherwise known as laundromats. Now let me tell you a little story. It starts like this. One of my friends, I mean a real friend, he came by last week. He's somebody I've known for like half my life, okay? He's a good guy. He's been having medical problems and I'm guessing some psychological issues. It's like this. He had an intestinal problem and he became incontinent. And I don't mean in the front, I mean in the back. He had a series of misfortunes. One of the things that happened is he got held up at an ATM and the guy demanded not only his wallet but his car keys and demanded to know where the keys were, and he was parked in one of the casino garages, so he had his truck stolen and whatever was in it, and anyway he soiled himself. He got a shower at one of the social service agencies, but they did not have laundry facilities that day. And so he said that he was going to wash his soiled trousers in one of the laundromats around here. And I'm freaking out. I'm saying, dude, you want to go. Most laundromats, I thought, had a special room with a basin in it, and you could run water and you could do a pre-wash. You got to soak. It's like when people have cloth diapers. You don't dump something with shit in it in people's laundry and you don't put that in a machine. Then what about the people that use that machine after you get out of there? And I was trying to talk sense into him, and I was saying, and he said all the modern Maytag machines these days have a pre-soak cycle, and he's giving me all this, and it's like, please, you guys, maybe you guys know more about laundromats and washing machines than I do, because I am a veteran hand washer. They charge so much, and plus sometimes they smell funny and some of the people hanging out in them. I know I'm judging, but you're thinking of, I'm going to put my clothes, I'm going to trust it in the surfaces, and what if I didn't bring bleachy wipes or something? But this guy, he claims he did this and he already did it. He took them. Matter of fact, okay, he had this bag of laundry. It wasn't a big bag. It was like your average paper bag that we used to get when you would go grocery shopping, and then you would line that inside a plastic bag, and you would have your items double wrapped, right? Well, he had his filthy trousers and a few other things down here at the bottom. You see, that's the door. Obviously, we're right up against the door. The last step. His clothes were there so that it wouldn't stink up the whole stairwell. It's a good thing there's this extra door here so we don't have to smell things. But after a couple of days of being there, my mom said, why don't you just put it outside? I said, no, he has had so many bad things happen to him. He had his clothes stolen and his truck and all these things, and his diabetes is really kicking in with the meds that he's on, and sometimes they make these people speech slur, and they seem like they're inebriated in some way. And a guy, if he drank alcohol, I don't know if it would kill him, but it's very dangerous for diabetics to do, and he doesn't do these things. I know he doesn't. All the years I've known him. But so he, instead of doing a pre-wash, took his shitty pants. And I know guys with racing stripes, if they don't have a significant other who loves them enough to wash their underwear. Now, my mom doted on my father. She really did. But I think even she drew a line at racing stripes. If a person is going to lose track of their bowels, they need to be able to try this thing called soap and water and scrub things and do it themselves and stuff. That's the nice thing to do. I've done a lot of laundry for homeless friends and stuff, and I washed their socks out, and you wash it out by hand like 3 times to get the sand out before you dare put it in a machine, if you're lucky to have a little washer and dryer in your house like we did our previous apartment when my father was still alive. But I would make sure the sand got out of things before I would put them in the machine. But I never ever washed a fella's guts Gachi, by the way, is Croatian for granny panties, or I don't know if it's all underwear, specifically the more comfortable kind that some people look at derisively, but really are comfortable. So yeah, my friend did this. So think about this the next time you go and you decide, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to a laundromat, or I'm going to wash my heavy things like my blankets and whatever. You wonder why these machines smell funny? And I realize you can actually clean that machine. You can take a whole cycle. In other words, double the cost of what your price was going to be, because you're sterilizing the machine cycle before you put your stuff in, and that makes it doubly expensive. That's ridiculous. But yes, there are people that don't know how to wash off their own filth, and they expect that it's going to be in a public machine. That's disgusting, and I know people like that. I hope you don't. Yeah. Okay. Talk to you guys tomorrow with something a lot more fun, I promise.